I don't know whether you have heard of it. Turan is a project which is about like Turkification, like making a huge area. I mean, from the Balkans to China, making it a Turkish area. Like it's called Turan project, and Azerbaijan is one of the champions and campaigners of this project, and it's a very anti-Armenian project per se. Azerbaijan, I must say. So this actually is a very sad, I mean, story for the Armenian nation, because as I said, if we look at this, I mean, the conflict, as the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, narrowing it, then we kind of miss that one Turkist, I mean, ideology, that one Turkist aggressive, I mean, plan, which is the main, I mean, factor to blame for all this. Because when Zanoyan mentioned that he hopes that next speakers will talk about the Zangezur corridor, if we look at the map, we will see that there is a narrow, if you remember the map that the general showed, I mean, the Sunik region is a narrow, I mean, region in the south of Armenia, and that is what we call Zangezur, the Zangezur corridor. So basically, it is like a hindrance to this Turan project, because it kind of blocks the Turkish war to get connected with each other. Because if you look at the map, you see that there is Turkey, Azerbaijan, and then you have this stance, like, I mean, this Asian country stance, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, like Tajikistan, etc., right? So all these get connected with each other, and we all know what influence Turkey already has in this stance in these 5 countries, and Azerbaijan. So it means that that if they wipe out Zangezur as an Armenian establishment, then they will definitely, I mean, pave the road for the Turan project to succeed. So this is a very important thing, and I do hope that that this is taken seriously into granted, right, by, for example, Indian policymakers. Because if you look at the map, you see that this Turan project reaches the Indian doors, it reaches the Chinese doors, right? It reaches, I mean, the Far East. And I'm not even talking about Russia, because people were mentioning here about, I mean, right? I mean, the Azeris getting support from Turkey, from Pakistan. Actually, Pakistan also participated in the Artsakh, the Nagorno-Karabakh 2020 war, with logistical support and with also intelligence support. And Israel, of course. I would also mention this Russian, I mean, phenomenon. Though they are or were considered our allies, they didn't act, which is a very sad story itself. And why I mentioned Russia, because this Turan project is also against Russia. I hope that Russian policymakers one day will understand what they have been doing. So basically, they have actually been playing with fire. And so this Turan project is a danger to the world, not only to Armenia. So that is why I am championing for India-Armenia deeper ties. What I mean when I say deeper ties, I mean develop this civilizational platform between us. The second thing is, of course, this geopolitical strategic alliance. It means that India and Armenia on state level and on non-state level, which means also on diaspora levels, must, I mean, cooperate for 100%. So there must not be any questions here, because we understand that we are dealing with Turan and Pakistan together. And in one of my interviews, I think I covered about it, about how dangerous is the marriage, is the ugly marriage between Pakistan, Turkey, and Azerbaijan is for Armenia and for India. So this geopolitical, after the geopolitical comes the military, of course, deeper ties. Of course, we know that India wants to, India is sending arms, etc. But I think that's not enough. We must champion for the Indian military base in Armenia. Why? Because the Indian presence will kind of balance the region. Because we need Indians here as our allies to show that Armenia has a strategic partner. Because sometimes when you say that you have strategic partner, Armenians have been suffering with this, by the way. So it turned out that we haven't had during these 30 years. So Indians' presence in Armenia is a must in military, terms. And I am one of the actually most vigorous, champions, for this. I'm championing for it. The 2020 showed that the Minsk OSCE Minsk group failed per se, because the Minsk OSCE Minsk group was created to prevent the war. It was created for that, but then all of a sudden, and it was defined that this OSCE Minsk group it had made it clear that there is no military solution to the conflict. But it turns out that there was a military solution and the world accepted it. And moreover, the world is now accepting the genocide of the ethnic Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. So it comes to say, as Michael said, that the United Nations have become not relevant as of now. I must say that the OSCE Minsk group didn't do the job they got salaries for. So definitely they didn't do the job. The people who got salaries, they didn't do the job. They didn't perform. They didn't show the competence and most of all motivation and interest to prevent the conflict. Because as I said, this Armenian question and the systematic fight against the Armenian nation has again taken place. So if you look at the map, Armenians were living here, and now Armenians are living here. So this is a pure consecutive genocide series that we must study. So starting from the 19th century to now. We at the Network State, as a pan-Armenian movement, we consider India as a joker in international relations, as the general mentioned, like a joker in terms of like having China, having the West and Russia, having relations both with the West and Russia on equal levels, and having its own independent politics. That's why also, but most importantly, as I mentioned, the civilizational ties also play a key role, because Indian army definitely would be very welcoming to the Armenian people. But this, notion of India as equally acceptable in Russia and in the West also plays a key role within our, at least, Network State platform to call for more Indian presence in Armenia. Thank you.